In this video, I'm going to answer the most common question I get, and that question is, where do I buy my sports cards? How do I buy them? Because people think there's this magical place where you could just buy sports cards for cheap and sell them for more, and there kind of is, and that is eBay. eBay is the place where I buy almost all, not maybe like 80% of my sports cards. And in this video, I'm going to take you step by step on how I actually do it, because this is the most common question I get, and I don't know why I haven't answered it yet, but purpose of this video is I'm going to answer it. And the reason why I love eBay is because it's so filtered. If you want to look for Cade Cunningham, or you want to search for Justin Herbert, you can type that in and get exactly what you want. As opposed to Facebook and Instagram, you can't really do that. Also on eBay, it's just a hub of sports cards. It's where the most amount of sports cards are being posted every single day, thousands and thousands of them. And there's just such good deals, and there's such an opportunity to make money. And also, you're protected, right? You can't really get scammed on eBay, because God forbid you send someone money and they don't send you a card. They protect you. And also on top of that, they authenticate everything. So let's say, for example, you buy a card from 2020 that's not graded, and the purpose of you buying it is to get it graded. They authenticate it. So they send it to a facility in Florida first before sending it to you, and they make sure it's not trimmed and everything looks good. If the card looks weird or it didn't look how it looked in the pictures, they'll just send it back and send you your money back. Because a lot of sellers will do that, they'll make the card look a little bit better than it should with the angle, how they take the picture. They'll sometimes use Photoshop. I've seen that. I've seen people get called scammers for literally photoshopping the card and making it look better than it is. I actually had that happen to me one time on a very expensive card that I bought on Facebook. The person photoshopped it. The card was worth over $10,000, and it was not in the condition that I was promised or that I saw, and I ended up losing a lot of money. So that is not a problem with eBay. So let's hop in my computer. I'm going to take you step by step on what I look for and how I navigate and how I scroll through eBay. I'll see you inside. All right, so here is eBay, and this is how I search for cards. So you'll notice there's 3 tabs pulled up. This tab is for searching. This other tab is for looking at completed sales. And this other tab is called Only All. And this will give you a more in-depth way of seeing what a card's worth and looking at recent sales, especially a lot of higher up cards. There's not recent sales. So this software will go back for eternity and let you know what stuff sells for. So let's take a look. So you can see some of my recent searches. So something I'm buying right now is football and basketball. While I'm speaking right now, it's March. So I'm not really buying baseball. The season's about to begin. Most players are going to go down. So I'm really looking to buy football, preferably, if not basketball. But let's give it a search, right? So something I'll search for, something that's a really good product, is Contenders. So sometimes I'll just search something as simple as this, Contenders Auto. And I'll always go to newly listed. Why I go to newly listed is so I don't run over cards that I've seen before, right? Because I do this about not as much as I used to, but I do it a few times a week, and I don't want to see cards I already saw. And this is pretty key. So you can actually search for cards that are not graded, okay? So right here, you can just click no. This will show you only raw cards. And when I search for cards, I usually only like to buy cards at the minimum $500. But remember, you're buying a card to get graded, usually. Or that's at least what I'm preaching here. So like a card like this that's worth $3, you can't really do that because it costs at the minimum $20 to get a card graded, right? So just for example, right, I would search this and I would begin to take a look. And cards like this are a little bit scary because it's from 2019. Usually there's a reason the card's not graded, but I'm open to anything. These cards were easier to grade. This doesn't look too bad. It's a little, usually there's edge chipping down here, but this card actually doesn't look bad. So what I would do now is say, okay, what is this card worth? Right? What is this worth? It's a little off-centered. You can see this left side is a little bit bigger than the right side, but I want to see what is this card worth, right? So I would type in my first thing, I'll type in Daniel Jones out of 5, Contenders Auto, and see if I could find anything. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. This could be a difficult card to find. Okay. I think I found something. All right, so actually I found a comp, so this actually works. So You can see about a month ago when I'm speaking, it sold for $535. Daniel Jones's value is a little bit more now. I do know that just from being in the hobby. So this guy's asking $1,400. I mean, usually people are unreasonable. It's just how sports cards goes. But like, I would come in at $400. It's probably gonna get auto declined, but let's see. Let's make an offer for $400 and declined. Okay, so this guy's just unreasonable. The card's probably worth like $600-700, but I'm not crazy about it. And let's take another look. All right, Mac Jones Purple Pulsar. So these cards, I know from experience, have a lot of corner issues, and Mac Jones is not good at signing his autograph. As you can see, it's very streaky, but we're sending the card to PSA. They actually don't grade the autograph, and you can see up here, this left-hand side, this corner's white, so it's not going to grade well. It's a nice card, beautiful card. It's something I would definitely buy, but unfortunately, it's not going to grade well for us. And you can see there's a lot of cards here, and you're probably asking yourself, there's a lot of cards I'm skipping over. Just a lot of them I know like won't grade. Like this card from 2018. First of all, it's 4 years old at this point, or 5 years old, and these cards are very difficult to grade. So that's why I'm skipping over a bunch of cards. I just know from doing this for so long, just certain cards won't grade. But this is a nice card. Usually I don't buy second year or third year, but this is nice. But you can see it's got some whiting on the corner, so it's not a card that would grade, at least in my opinion. This is a nice card, but it's so overpriced, I'm not even going to bother. These cards are nice. I've made a lot of money on them, but usually when a card's being consigned by a big guy like Probstein over here, it's usually not good to grade. And also, these cards were all redeemed, so this card was pulled out of its original casing because there's usually a sticker on it, if that makes sense. It's a conversation for a different day, but I'm just kind of speaking out loud and showing you what goes through my head, and I get it. It's a little bit easier because I've been doing this a while, but this is a nice card. Jordan Love. Interesting. So I would see what this is worth. So I know Jordan Love stuff is up at the moment, but let's see what is this card worth and what's it worth as a PSA 10. So a PSA 10 is about $1,100. Okay. And so like I want to pay like $400 to $450 for a card like this. My goal, so a PSA 9 is $660. Interesting. Okay. So like this guy's actually not terribly priced. And what I would do in a situation like this, because I'm a little bit skeptical, the card's a few years old, what I do is I'll look at the other seller's items and see, okay, what else does he sell? Because what this will tell me, if every card is graded, like you see here, and one card is not, that probably tells you the card is not going to grade, and the guy had it graded, it probably graded an 8 or a 9, and he took it out of the case. So you can see here, like, right, every card's graded except for this one. I can't see what's wrong with it, but it's probably not in good condition. But hopefully you can kind of get a sense of what goes through my mind, and I get it. I've been doing this a while, so it's a little bit easier for me. But these cards are very difficult to grade. You can see it's got whiting on the corner right here. I love to go for cards that are difficult to grade, as you could tell. I like to take big risks. It's always been a thing of mine. All right, so kind of this is actually a good looking card. So this card is still sealed from Panini. This seal means, so basically what happened is these cards came out and Ja Morant didn't sign his card yet. So he actually signed it months later, and people get these redemption little tickets, and when he signs, they give them into Panini, and they send you the card. And when that happens, the seal is on it. So what this tells me is this card has not been graded 100% unless the person put the seal back on, which would be pretty ridiculous. But this card, these are hard to grade, but this actually looks really nice. And also, another indicator, he's from Canada. Usually people from outside of the United States, it's more difficult for them to grade cards. So usually it's a better sign that the card's in better condition. And you can see ripped from Backyard Breaks. So this is actually telling me this person actually ripped the card himself, like got it from the case himself, which is good. And he says perfect condition, so like, I mean, this is everything you could look for, right? Now it's all about price, and even a card like this, I will pay strong on, okay? So let's see, Blue Morant Optic Contenders Auto 2019, right? 2019 is a little bit scary. So PSA 10, just did 3,700. So this guy's, yeah, so like, I mean, PSA 9, as you can see, is 1,600. So like, I mean, this guy's pretty overpriced. But also you got to remember, this card sold when Ja Morant was kind of the crapper, when he was suspended. So like, this card as a PSA 10 is probably realistically worth over 4,000. But like, I would come in at like 1,200. The card's probably worth 14 to 15, probably. I would come in at 12, and yeah. So, but a card like this is really nice, and I'll actually go out of my way and message the person and say, hey, love the Morant. What are you looking to get on it? I see a PSA 10 just sold for 3,500. Thanks. Great card. And just a little bit of a helpful thing I've learned over the years, being nice and saying, great card, this and that, like, it just comes across a lot better. You don't want to be a total dick and be like, what do you want for the card? There's so many people like that, and they're not pleasurable to talk to. But it's a beautiful card. It's not definitely something I would buy. The guy's just a little bit overpriced. But yeah, hopefully you guys are getting a gist as to why I like eBay so much, right? I've only been on here for 8 minutes, and I already have one potential purchase if the guy could come down in price. And yeah, you can just see there's so many cards to buy. It's ridiculous. You just kind of have to know what you're looking for. But yeah, this is the beauty of eBay. Hopefully you guys got a little bit of a glimpse. Hopefully you guys like when I do this stuff. But let's head back to the camera. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And I've spent millions and millions of dollars on eBay up to this point. And eBay is just a beautiful place if you know what you're doing. And you probably saw just when I was talking out loud, like, all these little nuances and things I knew, like this card doesn't grade, that card grades, look at the seller's profile. Like, all these things took me years to learn. In the beginning, I would just kind of buy anything, and a lot of stuff wouldn't grade well for me, and then I was out a lot of money. So that's why it's super, super important in business to get mentorship. And I'm not just saying for myself, because obviously I teach people how to do this, but just from anyone. Just pay it forward and learn before you actually go out and do this, because you can see all those things I was saying out loud in my head. Like, if I didn't know those things, I would have probably bought 1 or 2 of those cards that I was scrolling past, and I would have lost money on it, right? So that's why actually investing in yourself and paying for a program or mentorship, not mine, but anyone else's, is actually going to save you money in the long run, even though there's an upfront investment. So, but eBay is a beautiful place to buy and sell sports cards. Maybe I'll do another video on how I sell cards, but that is how I buy step by step. If you liked it, like the video. Any questions, comment below. I try to answer as many as I possibly could. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys in the next video.